Let me show these suckers how to ball out here. Oh, man, let's get this together here. Oh, layup. Oh, shot. Oh, three. Oh, it's like Brick City out here. Mid-range. Oh, my goodness, I can't buy a bucket out here. I missed the whole damn basket. Oh, my goodness, what's going on, man? My game is looking trash. Oh, here we go. Black Power Media shirt. Now we cooking. Trees. I'm taking on three of y'all with these right here. Between the legs. Oh, my goodness, behind the back. Layup. Oh, did he just do a reverse? He is in beast mode out here. I ain't got to look. It's falling. Oh, my goodness, this guy is going 3, 2, 1. Kobe. Nice. Black Power Media, baby. Nice. Empower yourself. Go get you some of that Black Power Media again. Right here, blackpowermedia.org. Yeah.
I mix. I like what I like. All right, what's up, world? Welcome back to another edition of I Mix What I Like right here on Black Power Media. Again, I'm Jared Ball, very happy to be your host. Please do buckle up, get comfortable, get yourself whatever lunchtime snacks, brunch time snacks you might need, or whatever time it is, wherever you might be right now, and get comfortable because this is about to be a fascinating and powerful discussion. Please do like, share, subscribe. Put this in your socials, invite others to join you back here. If you're here live, for those who will see and hear this later, peace and welcome to you as well. And please do the same. Consider supporting us in a variety of ways, materially through Patreon, link below, immaterially, just like, share, and as I don't know if they still say it over there, but we'll still say it over here. You can just
put it in the comments
and support us that way as well. All right. So that said, there's been a lot of discussion, obviously, around the ongoing genocide in Palestine, the reverberating impacts politically, and in the particularly within the academic world, everyone from Ivy League university presidents down to regular routines faculty and everybody in between and exterior to that have been under some sort of variety of surveillance and at times punishment. And this next guest has unfortunately suffered her fair share of that. So I want to get right to an invitation to the platform and welcome former NYC, New York City professor at Cooper Union and Hunter College, and a current artist, activist, and ongoing struggler, Shellyne Rodriguez. Welcome to the program. It's a pleasure to meet you. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, shout out to Dr. Orasami Burton. Alerted me to your story. I'm very late to this. And then you sent us a summary story, and then I've looked up a couple of other things. Mm-hmm. And before you share, I just want to shout you out because the first thing among all that has been reported, the first thing, admittedly, because of my own PTSD from working in the academic world, is that I saw in all of that has been said about you, I kept seeing adjunct faculty. Mm-hmm. And that just rang out to me as this means unprotected faculty. This means fire at will faculty, often without appropriate pay, benefits, and then to see you in defense of certain politics. So salute to you for that. I'm sorry all that seems to have gone on has been going on. Please do tell us what has happened and anything else you want to share. Thank you. Welcome.
This is a long ass story, Jared. But I'll take it from the top. So in order for me to really talk about being fired from Cooper Union for speaking out in defense of Palestinian resistance, I really have to dial it back a year and tell you about me being fired from Hunter College, my first adjunct job. I'm a painting, drawing, and art history professor, adjunct. So as you said, fire at will. But I think what's important is that we understand the political maneuvers set in place by conservative right wing, but also Democrats alike that make the university a theater of war. We had to take into account a few things, right? So like the overturning of Roe v. Wade by the Supreme Court in 2022, plus the Supreme Court's decision to end affirmative action and to allow discrimination against LGBTQ on religious grounds, literally in the same month in 2023. So, if we understand all of these things as a political maneuver on the federal level, while on the state level, there are about like 20 states that have introduced legislation attacking critical race theory or the Black radical tradition. And on some level, they're trying to regulate how we discuss race, class, and gender. When you look at all of that together, we understand how the university is seen by them as a site of struggle, them being the state and the ruling class. And again, like this is true for both parties who wish to stamp down on liberatory ideas, each with their own priorities and agendas. So like it's in that context that I show up to work one day teaching a painting class at Hunter, and some of my female students or female identified students come in and they're like visibly upset. And they're like, Professor, there's like these anti-abortion people downstairs. They got these rubber fetuses. They're wilding. So I'm like, okay, who let these people on campus? So I go into the art history office. I'm like, you know anything about this? They're like, I don't know. So I take it upon myself to go downstairs to investigate. Now, the third floor at Hunter College is where all the student groups usually congregate. They all got their little Xerox copy. Please join our group. You know what I'm saying? Like run of the mill, low budget, public university. But one group there, which was actually not a student group at all, was actually Students for Life of America. Now, Students for Life of America, if you don't know, is an organization with a $10 million budget and with long-time ties to ALEC, which is the American Legislation Exchange Council. It's a conservative lobbying force. So like I see they got vinyl banners, they got like glossy pamphlets, which are like spreading misinformation and scare tactics against chemical abortions. And it's a whole dog and pony show, So of course, like I confront, my first question is, who let you in the building? It's clear to me that this is not a student organization. I don't know who they are yet, but it's clear to me that much. So I'm like, who let you in the building? Do you have permission to be here? Confrontation ensues. I kind of, I say some shit to them and I like push the pamphlets off the table and I knock over the rubber fetuses, which were like in a metal case. Now, there's a long history of faculty and students resisting the presence of military recruiters and police on campus. It was in this spirit that I confronted them. A week before that, I was tearing down FBI recruitment flyers from all of the billboards and shit at the school. So I'm seeing this like in this kind of way. Understanding that, it was a forceful confrontation. In the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm probably gonna get called into HR for this shit. No problem. Of course, eventually I'm called into HR like within a week. They secretly recorded me having the confrontation and they circulated the video. This is how the provost was able to track me down. Now, I go into the meeting, of course, ready to defend my position, ready to admit that, perhaps I touched materials on the table, but also I go into the meeting with prior knowledge of something that happened. So when I talked about that situation, the situation with the anti-abortion crew to other students and other faculty, I was informed that the day prior, the Palestinian student group at the school invited their guest, Nardine Kaswani, from Within Our Lifetime. And the school, the Office of Academic Affairs, actually nixed it, told them absolutely not, and threatened them with additional security. So I was walking into a meeting with the provost ready to discuss the problematics of this kind of group being allowed on campus, but also to highlight the contradictions. Conversation ensues. I make my points. I'm reprimanded. I'm given a letter. I have to issue an apology for touching materials, not my position, not my political position. Fine. Walk away from the situation feeling like whatever. Once Students for Life of America found out that I was not fired from the institution, they began their own vigilante justice against me. They circulated that video, doctored with like thought bubbles and bullshit, on their own social media platforms, which, you know, garner about 150K followers on individual sites, whether that's Twitter, Instagram, or whatever. So once that happened, of course, now I'm getting doxxed. I mean, they call me all types of nigger, dyke, whore, whatever. Spigger was my favorite. You know, they saw Rodriguez. They were like, wait, so, you know, I'm either Mexican, which they called me Mexican, or, you know, then they figured some other shit out, you know, just like the worst of the worst, coupled with death threats, sexual threats of sexual violence. So I'm experiencing this for like about 2 weeks. I'm notifying the school. The school is like, go to the precinct and get an order of protection. I'm like, from who? And I don't talk to police. They don't protect me. I'm not going to no precinct to file no report. But, you know, now the school is now moved into a position where like they're afraid of an active shooter practically, you know? But nonetheless, I'm experiencing this over and over again for about 2 weeks. Then I get notified that they were putting it on Fox News. Now, they put it on Fox News, the video. They had a segment about it. The minute that they put that shit on Fox News, Jared, my personal cell phone number started to ring. So now I'm getting phone calls and voice messages, death threats, violence, so on and so forth. So I'm bugging because if you got my phone number, you probably have my address. You know what I'm saying? So now this is like overnight that I'm getting the calls. I'm like, turn off my phone just so I could try to rest because now I'm like stressed, like really stressed out. The following morning is the last day of class. I was teaching a painting course. The final project of a painting course is a painting. This is not the kind of thing where you can email me a PDF and I send you your grade. I needed to be present to see the work, right? So against all of the advice that I got from the faculty union, from the provost, from friends and comrades, you shouldn't go, and I'm gonna go. Just I asked some comrades to like wait for me outside to like escort me in and out, but I'm gonna go. So I'm getting ready that morning. I'm in my kitchen, and I hear a knock on my front door. Now I live like, you know, there's an intercom downstairs. I live on the 4th floor, so you got to hit the intercom for me to let you in. And I'm like, somebody's at my front door. Maybe it's like UPS or some shit, like leaving a delivery. I have like one of these like long railroad hallways. So I pop out the kitchen and I'm like, who is it? Down the hallway. They yell back, what do you have to say for yourself? Blah, 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 blah. I hear the voice of what I identify to be 2 white men. 24 hours of death threats and bullshit on top of like 2 weeks. I'm not in my right mind, you know? So now I just go into survival mode. I'm like, get mad. I'm sorry, I'm swearing on here. Okay. So
no, you're good. You're good.
Okay. I'm like, get the fuck away from my door. Get the fuck away from my door. And I hear them lingering and like whatever. So I grab a machete that I have in the home and I go to the front door and I open the door and I hold out the machete to the first white man's neck. And I say, get the fuck away from my door. And then I shut the door. So now I'm panicking. White men are in my building. They've come to fulfill the promise that they've been making for 2 weeks. And I hear them lingering still. And I'm like, I gotta walk out of this building. I can't allow white nationalists to come to my neighborhood and try to like scare me, you know? So I'm like, they need to get out of my building. They need to get off the block. So I throw on my hoodie and I take my machete and I go downstairs, and now I'm like, get the fuck off the block. In the arguing back and forth with them, I realize as one of them like kind of turns, I see a press pass. And I'm like, oh shit, this is press. So then now I kind of run away from them, and I run into the barbershop next door to me. I go into the barbershop. I'm like, Barry, these guys, they're harassing me. They follow me into the barbershop. Now Barry is like, get the fuck out my shop, man. You know what I'm saying? Get out my shop. He shuts the door. I call my attorney from there. Within all of that panic, eventually they leave. Barry escorts me back to my apartment where they're still following me. And he's like, leave her alone, get away from her, whatever. I get upstairs, put my shit together. Somehow I still make it to Hunter College to teach the final course. When I get to the school, the 11th floor where the painting building is, it looks like Columbine. I'm sorry to date myself, like, and go all the way back to the 90s, but you know what I'm saying? It looked like that, you know what I'm saying? It was like every security guard in the school was on that floor locking it down. My students are like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, bullshit, but whatever, you know what I'm saying? So we go through we see all the paintings, everybody makes their presentation. Towards the last presentation, head of security comes in. He's like, Fox News and the New York Post are downstairs. They're circulating a video of you with a machete. So we don't think that you're safe here. We need to see you out. So I leave. Of course, I have comrades downstairs waiting for me. We jump in the Uber. It's about New York traffic. So it's about 45 minutes to the Bronx from there. By the time I get to the Bronx, there's a termination letter from Hunter. And I was also adjuncting at the School of Visual Arts. So there's a termination from Hunter and the School of Visual Arts. And my attorney's on the phone saying there's a warrant for your arrest. So they perp walk me. So now here's a very important thing. All of this happened, as I mentioned, I saw human resources. We discussed the matter. It was handled internally at the university level. But the media took over. And this is very important. We have to understand that there is a right-wing media ecosystem, a network. They are a propaganda arm for the state. And I'm including both Democrats and Republicans because they both have their agendas and they both wield it. We're seeing it we're seeing more of the Democrats wielding this kind of a device now with the Palestine thing. But, my original sort of situation was with the Christian Zionists, with the right-wing conservatives. You know what I'm saying? So their pressure was so heavy that they were able to manipulate the university to take action against me on something that did not happen on campus, on something that they had information about, that I was being harassed, that they had the context where they could have maybe let shit die down, have a conversation about it. But instead, they immediately capitulated. They immediately capitulated to the right-wing press. Now, that press has been following me throughout. I had to go to court. It was a misdemeanor, menacing with a weapon. I'm still actually facing that case. I'm kind of on probation right now until May. And then it's stricken from my record because it was never really a big deal. It's a misdemeanor. But the way that the New York Post and Fox News and all of these entities, the way that they framed the narrative was that, this nigger bitch was going to jail. And they made sure that I knew that that's what they thought in my inbox. You know what I'm saying? So just a big circus around the thing. And it's a way to ensure that someone with this kind of audacity will not get another university job. But so happens that I did. I got hired at the Cooper Union to teach a sculpture class. Very under the radar, whatever. It slipped me in. I have a very good resume. I got in, whatever. But the Right to Life of America and these entities, they found out that I was teaching there. They had a protest at the school. They got Fox News and all these people back involved. So now I'm on the radar of the school. They didn't actually realize who I was until the school, until the press made it an issue. So now they got a hot potato in their hands. What the school ends up doing in order to capitulate again is putting themselves in a position where they made themselves like my parole officer. Rather than having to piss in a cup every month, I had to submit a report from, so what the court, what my probationary, what the probation conditions was that I had to do a group therapy, anger management group therapy. And so they wanted a report from the therapist on a monthly basis saying that I'm complying with the courts in order to keep my little adjunct job. You see what I'm saying? So going into, so that was last semester. This semester, in between the semesters, you know, because Palestine happens October 7th, right? Between October 7th and the beginning of the new semester, I'm going to do what I do. You know what I'm saying? So like I immediately jumped in solidarity and started doing actions and started doing like mobilizing. And here's the thing. So in the Bronx, in between the semesters, we had a march. Within our lifetime, organized a march in every borough. The Bronx had their turn. I was part of the group that put together the logic behind the Bronx March. During the Bronx March, we made certain stops. We stopped at a building that was dilapidated beyond belief, where we tracked who the landlord was and discovered that this landlord has ties to a company called Golden Bridge Funding. Golden Bridge Funding is the only investment firm from Israel that's sole purpose is to provide funding for real estate in New York City. Specifically, if you go on their website under the transactions tab, you'll see that where they list all of the addresses, they highlight, it's not all of them, they highlight certain addresses in Queens, Brooklyn. So then I, of course, like, there's this idea, like, what if we did a rent strike in these buildings that are dilapidated and fucking falling apart, in solidarity with ourselves on a local, but also in solidarity with Palestinians who, this money is probably going back to Israel to build illegal settlements. You know what I'm saying? So the march was centered around that. And then at some point, I was invited to do a teach-in at CUNY, ironically, not Cooper. But I'm invited to do this teach-in. It's a private teach-in. So I'm discussing the logic behind the Bronx March, how we were connecting the local to the global in this kind of way. A Zionist troll, of course, infiltrated this private CUNY event and scraped the video, put it on their social media, and tagged Cooper Union. My second week into teaching, I was terminated via Zoom. Why? Anti-Semitic tropes and calling on for violence. Now, if you're sitting where I'm sitting, the treatment that I feel like, and it's different from everybody. It's different for everybody. Every professor is facing backlash for speaking on Palestine in different ways. But mine is very unique in that, like, they're treating me like an ex-con, I have a history of violence. They're they're saying that I'm like calling for violence, right? They're trying to connect my prior situation to this, Yeah. And so like, that responses to that firing and that injustice are kind of like up in the air right now. There's a petition going around and, different actions about to take place because, of course, you can't take this line down. And, like, I thank you and I thank Ori and shout out to Joy James, who actually tried to put us in touch prior to Ori for a different situation. But, just, giving props where it's due.
Put us in touch?
Yeah. But it was for something else. But, just shouting out Joy for that. But I'm just like grateful. All of that just to say that I'm like grateful that you're giving me the platform to even discuss this, because literally I have not talked about this entire situation yet, because my lawyers felt like I needed to be easy, because like there's like the court situation pending. But I'm out of the weeds with that, and I feel like because of the situation that happened prior to the Cooper Union thing, there's a hindrance on being able to really advocate not only for myself, but like the work around Palestine too. You know what I'm saying? Just because we're operating under a carceral logic here, and like I've been pegged as like the professor from the Bronx with the machete. You know what I'm saying? Like with a history of violence. It's just like all of this coded racist language around me that wants to neutralize me as a person. You know what I'm saying? But not just me as a person. It's also about the fact that like professors like myself and many others who approach their pedagogy from an anti-colonial, anti-imperial, anti-capitalist perspective, we are literally teaching against what they are as institutions. We are literally teaching against I'm losing my train of thought here. I mean, we're literally teaching against like the structure. You know what I'm saying? And the university as a battleground is important to see. Again, like just to bring it back to like how I began this whole situation, and we're looking at like the way like Supreme Court and all of that shit is breaking down, and we're looking at the state level of it. How does that trickle down onto the campus level? We understand, and there's me, but like I understand that like these institutions are liberal institutions, and liberal institutions always they wet noodles, man. You know what I'm saying? Like they lead with liability. So just for the sake of not being liable for some shit, they'll let like a right-wing agenda run amok. You see what I'm saying? And the Palestine thing kind of blows the whole shit open a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like if you tell me that I can't teach about Palestinian resistance, you're telling me I can't teach about my own. You see what I'm saying? My people are from Puerto Rico. You telling me I can't teach about like, resisting like colonization? I'm Black. You tell me I can't teach against apartheid? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's more than just like solidarity with those people over there. It's how our solidarities are actually intricately linked. You see what I'm saying? So then like they understand that. So, stamping down on Palestine is not just stamping down on Palestine. When we look at stamping down on Black radical tradition, stamping down on critical race theory, stamping down on all of these things, it's because they also understand that, if it follows through, it means their own demise.
So just quickly, I apologize to you and Professor James for apparently whatever I dropped the ball.
Oh,
missed.
no.
So I apologize for that.
There's
but,
no ball
no. Well,
I didn't
whatever.
follow up neither. So
I have, as is often the case, no memory of this, so I just apologize. But and you're obviously always welcome, and I'm sorry to hear about all of this. But let me so one thing quickly. Can you send, or if did you already did I miss it in the email, the link to the petition?
Oh, nah, I haven't sent it to you. But
can you please send that? I'll put that in the show description and share it with the chat as well. And then I think I missed something. You said you both have. I thought I heard you say that you have a trial pending, but you're out of the woods.
No. So essentially, what's happening is in May I got to go back to the judge with the paper signed from the anger management therapist that says I can.
Okay.
and then that's when they'll sign the shit off. I may not be arrested. I cannot be arrested or get in any trouble in between now and then.
Okay.
Inshallah.
And you are currently then still looking for a position somewhere?
You know, it's been difficult. I've been applying for jobs, but the thing is this shit shows up in my background check.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The other thing I just wanted to come back and highlight is what you also said about the right-wing media ecosphere that a lot of us don't pay significant attention to or sufficient attention to, that does intend to create all of this. And then the wet noodles of these universities, they don't want the drama.
Smoke, they don't want that smoke. And you know, it's very important, like, because so I should mention this, and maybe you could share this in your thing too. There's a website called Faculty First Responders. And what they do is, like, they track professors' names. Like, you know, they basically, what they do is they track all of the right-wing ecosystem, right? So it actually starts on the college level, right? Any of these little right-wing student groups and shit, there's a college paper called College Fix. Now, if you pop up on College Fix, guaranteed New York Post is picking your shit up next. If New York Post picks your shit up, Fox News picks it up. They're connected. They feed each other. You see what I'm saying? Like, the university is an ideological battleground, and they understand it that way. And we need to understand it that way. It's not okay for the university to look the other way. So what Faculty First Responders does is lays all of this out. They give test cases. There's a test case in UMass Amherst where they actually put the system through their IT. And it, I mean, you know, like, the research is impeccable. Isaac Kamola is a great guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's really figured this shit out. But yeah, like, you know,
and this is like down around here. I need to link up with these folks.
Yeah, yo.
That's sharp.
Yeah. So, you know, like, the right wingers, we already know them, the run of the mill, the Breitbart, the this, the that. But, like, you know, with the Palestine movement, you know, now we're looking at Canary Mission. Now we're looking at Hillel, the Jewish Voice, who are literally behaving in the same way. You see what I'm saying? It's a propaganda arm, and the pressure from the press, you know, I mean, it's fascist being fascist, if we call it what it is, you know. There's no protections. There's no defense against it, you know. So, like, now I know, like, for example, at NYU, the Faculty for Justice of Palestine has formed, and that starts to become, like, sort of like a pushback. And, you know, I know that there are chapters that are going to pop up on universities everywhere, because there has to be some sort of response. You can't just keep taking, like, the witch hunt, and then the university sort of discards the professors to get rid of the problem. You know, I'm no defender of any institution. This is not about defending an institution. I agree with Fred and Stefano when they say, like, university is a motherfucking precinct, you know. But as a person who is dedicated to education, you see what I'm saying, that Walter Rodney kind of tradition, you know, and that Bell Hooks kind of tradition, like, you know, I understand that shit is a battleground. I understand what I got to do. Listen, in New York, I don't know what it's like over around your way, but in New York, our kids, they go to college, they still come back corrected. It's still the corrections. Our kids go to college to study criminal justice. Literally, bro. Their moms got them watching Law and Order all the goddamn day, and then they leave the home and they go study criminal justice. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, how do we get back consciousness? Like, how do we get our people on the right track? You know what I'm saying? Like, and like, my dedication is to the study of liberatory ideas, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, anti-colonial, anti-imperial, anti-capitalist. That's what I'm here for. So then what I have done in response to Cooper Union firing me is announced through all of my networks, which, you know, like, small, but whatever, I'm inviting myself to any campus, student group, pool hall, bodega, wherever you invite me, I'm going to do the teaching that got me fired. Because you're not going to shut nobody up. You see what I'm saying? We're going to talk about what it is,
How do we set it? Can't we get you to do it here? How about, can we do something and set up something where, I mean, we could, I don't know how you intend to do it, but.
I mean, it's just me talking a whole lot of shit like I'm doing right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, well, that's easily set up around these parts. But I mean, if there needed to be something where we were asking for some sort of small contribution on the way in or on the way out or whatever, we can. I mean,
I'm doing this for free.
Well, no, I mean, we can, but I mean, we happily try to, in some small way, crowdfund around here to just support folks in struggle who need support. And I don't see why we can't add that to this, but I think we should talk about just setting it up, and you do, in addition to wherever else you go. I think it'd be great if you.
Yeah, I'm down, man.
Came around here and did the teaching. I think,
as I said, it's like very the teaching was centered around it's very Bronx centric, but looking at Palestine. But I'm down to unpack that shit a little bit more,
We're a global platform. We don't mind centering on the Bronx for a little bit, or starting with the Bronx, Shout out to the Bronx.
Shout out.
My mother was born in the Bronx, back in the day. So I'll, once upon a time. But yeah, I'll invite questions from the chat in a second. One question that I definitely have for you that is slightly adjacent to the immediate topic is that I am curious about your work and approach to art. I know that academically you have an MFA, you've been teaching, and you're doing this. Mm-hmm. You are an artist yourself, and we just had a fascinating return to the debate in my Intro to Black Studies class this week, or yesterday, Monday, around art and politics and the role of the artist in struggle. I would love for you to take a minute and share your as I start to look for questions in the chat. What is your approach to that? How do you see art relating to politics and struggle? I'll just stop there.
Yeah, that's a great question, because I end up having this conversation quite often, when I'm in my classroom with my students, you know what I'm saying? The first thing I always say is, if you think that you're going to make a painting that is going to be about a political topic and your job is done, you're wrong. Whatever we produce as artists, listen, being an artist or wanting to express something through art is a form of communication, period. But it's and I don't mean to be romantic, but maybe I do mean to be romantic. It's like a philosophical inquiry. It's an inquiry on it's an existential inquiry, man. You know what I'm saying? And as much as one might not want it to be, and I know the white Western way of thinking of art, has moved, especially through modernism, has moved more and more in this trying to be objective, neutral bullshit. I don't believe in that. As an artist, you're a person, as a human, you're a person moving through life. Everything that you experience in life is going to come out in the work. It's subjective. Even the decision to not put it in is in there. You see what I'm saying? So for my own practice, listen, I went back to school in my 30s, and I got a GED in the 90s, and then I went back to school in my 30s and did the BFA and the MFA thing. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's but when I went back to school, I almost studied history. I was going to be a history teacher at Hunter College. That was going to be my thing. But I figured that I would probably be bitter if I didn't do the art thing, because I was fucking good at it and I knew it. You know what I'm saying? So but I ended up doing both. You know what I'm saying? My work is didactic. You know what I'm saying? Like it tries to like cast a spell. It tries to archive, you know, um, past, present, and future. You know, like it does all of these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, but it does not take it out of the contradiction of being turning itself into a luxury object to be sold on a market. You know, now I only last year is my first time that I was, you know, signed to a gallery and sold work. But even that array, and you know, engaging in the contradiction, I gotta sell my labor, sell my ass. I gotta sell something. You know what I'm saying? We under capitalism, bro. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, I am like, these are conditions of unfreedom. I am unfree. Why the fuck I think my work is gonna be free? What kind of lofty shit we think the work is gonna be cast in some sort of space of freedom when we are unfree? You know what I mean? So like I had to, you know, the work has to move in those spaces. But even in that regard, like, you know, when October 7th happened, a lot of artists freaked out because Zionists had bought their work. And there was a blacklist going around and people were getting put on that blacklist. Zionists were like making lists of artists who were talking about Palestine and trying to sell their artwork and like give it back to the gallery, canceling their shows. Like this shit was rampant. Shellyne didn't really have to go through that shit as much. Why? Because I walked in the door with the gallery being like, yo, I need a fucking disclaimer on my shit. I'm sorry I swear so much. Sorry.
I don't know who you apologizing to. To me,
no, I know. I just hear
endearing.
myself. I'm telling myself, stop cursing so much, man. But you know, it's like it's always in my head so much. But you know, like on my disclaimer, it says, you know, my work is not to be sold to any, you know, weapons manufacturers, like any defense contract. Nobody invested in migration bullshit, you know, like the detention centers. Nobody invests in the Puerto Rican debt crisis, and absolutely nothing to do with Israel. So BDS. You see what I'm saying? So I already had that. And when I had my first solo show, shout out to Ruthie Gilmore who wrote the essay for my show. You know what I'm saying? Like when I had my first show, I actually had to turn away on two instances Zionists who came in and wanted to buy my shit. And like straight up were like, nope, we're Zionists. So I'm like, sorry. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the gallery sort of had to deal with that difficulty and have those conversations with that. That's what they're there for. And it was an educational moment for them as well. You know what I'm saying? So, and of course, like a disclaimer like that doesn't solve your problem. You know, diversified portfolios, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Somebody could dead ass look me in the face and be like, oh yeah, no, I don't have anything to do with that. And then they got shares in fucking Elbit systems. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not a clear cut way of like, you know, it's not that I'm trying to like absolve myself of some shit by making some sort of statement. The contradiction is the contradiction. The point is that I'm self-select, like it creates a place where people self-select. I created a line in the sand. You see what I'm saying? And it's there and it pushes something. And like, you know, I'm reaping like, you know, the information came back well for me post October 7th, when I saw all these people like really upset and scared and angry about like how their work was being treated, and Shellyne didn't have to have that problem. You know what I mean?
So I got to be, so when you first started to say something about a disclaimer, I thought in my head immediately, I'm thinking, oh, she's going to say it's a disclaimer that about your politics. So you're saying sort of like, I thought you were going to say sort of like buyer beware, just so you know, I'm not changing my politics. This is my art, da, 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 da. But what you've done is like, that's, I think, an amazing elevated step to another level of saying, no. Not only do I have these politics, buyer beware, you say you can't buy.
You can't buy this shit.
You can't buy it.
No.
You can't invest.
The truth of the matter, Jared, and this is like,
Now listen.
That's just bars. That's the salute.
Thank you.
That's great. I think I don't know that I've ever heard anybody say that before. At least I can't remember somebody saying, no, I'm not. It's not just I'm standing on a certain principle in politics in my art. Take it or leave it. It's you saying you can't take it. You can't have it.
No, you can't have it. And I know my shit's gonna end up in captivity at some point somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But that's the other thing, you know. Like I make drawings. I make big ass drawings on black paper. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna live forever, man. You know what I'm saying? But like the ideas will. The drawing is just a residue. I'll make 15 more of them shits if you give me time and materials. You know what I'm saying? Like the ideas is what lives. That's what carries on. And that's like the teacher in me doing the work. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, the other thing is just like, bro, like my grandmother raised me saying, like, bro, you could survive. Like we will always survive because we know what it is to eat white rice and scrambled eggs every day. You see what I'm saying? Like, so there's nothing that you can't take food out of my mouth, man. You know what I'm saying? Like financial threat is not something that works on me, you know, and that don't mean that I'm not struggling because I'm struggling. You know what I'm saying? But it's not a motivational tactic for me to like, I know I'll survive. I just happen to be one. I also happen to be one of those people that still lives where I was born and raised. You know what I'm saying? So like I got family, I got networks. I'll figure it out. I'll get out of this moment. But you know, I sleep real good at night, bro. How about y'all?
So a number of people have we're already headed in the same direction. So I don't know how you will receive this, but I'm just going to work backwards.
Bring it.
We don't have an art show or an art class taught on this platform. I don't know if you're interested, but I think you should consider, my humble suggestion would be that you consider a proposal of sort for the community here to consider in this process we have, and I mean, it's not, you know, it's not life-changing money, but it's a couple dollars in your pocket every however many weeks, and it would be a great way for you to share your work and your teaching. Just something to consider. I'm just throwing it out there. Because I agree with the folks who are saying bring you back. Mm-hmm.
I'm with it. So like I teach this class that I put together. Well, I taught this class that I have put together called The Diaspora Emerges, where basically I look through art history and I fill in the gaps where they left us out or where they took some shit from us. You know what I'm saying? So I'll put the surrealists in conversation with the Negritude movement, anti-colonial movement, communist movements, and jazz. You know what I'm saying? Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's so many avenues to go through, whether it's like the art historical, like and politicizing that shit, or like, I mean, really, I'm just tossing it up in the air. But like,
I just think something
is that there's material there to work with, you know?
Clearly, and I thought, yeah, I thought the same thing. In terms of what folks in the chat are saying. A couple things here. Nahabi can't spell oppression without press. So you right on that. One question from Zenzabel is, where can I cop that shirt?
Oh, shit. Nah, I had this shit made, yo. So if in Harlem, there's a spot on 125th where like if you go in for like $25, they'll put whatever you want on a shirt. So I got another one where I just keep changing the names on them. I don't really have fashion sense, so I just wear my heart on my sleeve, you know?
There it is.
But if you in Harlem or if you in New York, you know, I'll plug the spot.
All right, there it is. Zenzi, I believe, is. So another Pan-African nationalist, radical, good brother artist, Tafari. Appreciate the convo. Appreciate you, Tafari. Good to see you as well. And then, art class on weekend or Friday nights would be dope for sure. So, yeah, I don't know. what Shellyne's schedule is, but yeah, I don't see why. I love the idea. So Raoul's pasta sauce, 125th. I'll have to get into that too. Right on. Yeah, no. So yeah, in terms of my questions, I'm good. Anybody else got any particular questions? Is there anything else you would want to raise with us or remind us? And please do, when you get a chance, send the links to the petition and whatever else you would want us to share. But yeah, my man DJ RBI in the building, another brilliant artist and who involves infuses politics in the work. So shout out to you, DJ RBI. But yeah,
I mean, I think it's kind of like, what I could say at this point is sort of like it's self-explanatory, really. You know what I'm saying? Like we are in a moment in the United States where you can stand on a soapbox and scream, "Fuck America," and keep your job. But you can't stand on the same soapbox and scream, "Fuck Israel." You'll be fired. You'll be doxxed. You feel me? And that's something to pause about. And, my thinking is like, you're supposed to lean into moments like that, not cower away from them, which is the whole reason why I said that I would continue to do the teaching that got me fired, amplified, grow it. Because, Paul Robeson, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need to we need to speak louder, not less. And so then I'm sure this show gets like a very huge audience, including people who are students. I mean, come on, man. This is what I like, yo. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Like students, faculty, everybody come through here. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you are a student, if you are a faculty somewhere, you gotta say something. You gotta plug in. You gotta get organized. It's the way the situation works is like, if you don't get on the front line, it recedes. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's precedent being set right now with this stuff, that they could fire me over something I said in between semesters at a private teaching, because you needed to get the passcode for the Zoom from the professor. You see what I'm saying? Like, that I could be fired for such a thing. That's a precedent. And it's happening in a classroom now, because historically we know that these things always happen. They always come for the students and the teachers first. What kind of precedent are we allowing? If we do not take a stand on it, it's going to take something from us down the road. And you can't see what that is now, because, I understand, this is like the quintessential issue with organizing, like how to get people to take their head out of their day-to-day. I got to get home, defrost the chicken so I can make dinner for the kids. Blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Like if we don't take a minute and say, oh shit, this is important, we're fucked, bro. This country's already going in a fascist movement. I done laid out the whole shit about like what that Supreme Court situation does. And we're facing Biden, who don't know the difference between the president of Mexico and Sisi in Egypt, and Trump. Now, what you think all the liberals are going to do when they see Trump win the nomination? They're going to close ranks around Biden. And when they close ranks around Biden, Palestine becomes a nuisance that's going to get Trump elected again, quote unquote. And that means they're going to let the hounds out. You see what I'm saying? there's only darkness coming, man. We need to speak up, yo. We need to speak up now.
And this, I want to highlight again that this is coming from someone who, before you knew that they were just regular old, routine, cowardly, conservative reporters, you said to these potentially violent white nationalist threat that you thought they might be, you got to not only get from my door, you got to get from the whole block. You got to get from the whole, you got to leave the entire space. I had a delayed thought about that, but I mean, that's very inspirational, very important, I think, and I think is reflected in what your whole approach here. It's you almost performing what you were just saying about this is not just happening to me, it's happening to everybody, and you got to get out of here. You got to get from entirely around here.
Yeah, like I don't just
shout out to you for that too.
You know what I'm saying? I live in an ecosystem. Like I got like this is my block is my neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? Like you can't come here with that. And the thing is, like Jared, like I should be I'm regular. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just a regular. Making me like everybody should be doing their shit. Me like in this situation without strength in numbers makes me a pariah. You know what I'm saying? Some people might want to glamorize this shit, but no, it makes me a fucking pariah. We need more people acting out because I know we feel it. I know we feel it. We just, it's not the time to like lean into fear. It's the time to like lean into courage.
Yeah, no, and it's not only that. I think that there's too many in our spaces who, instead of acting out, are acting in. And they take that energy into the spaces with their comrades. And it's like they want to pick the fight with the wrong side. And it's like, nah, you're supposed to be don't go that way with that energy. What you coming over here for?
Don't even get me started on the cannibalism of the left, bro. That's a whole other segment.
Well, I hope there are many with you going forward. And again, if whatever error I made in missing whatever from before, I again apologize because this is, I have thoroughly enjoyed speaking with you and hearing from you and definitely want to hear. I mean, I'm amped. This has been fantastic. I'm just looking again to make sure if there's anybody that has anything or, again, please, as soon as you send me the link, I will add the petition to the show description and encourage everybody who's here now to come back and hit refresh to get that link when it's in there, and everybody who sees it later to go into the show description.
Yeah, I hear that.
Let's all sign up because So one, again, I want to thank you for coming here. I want to thank you for this work. I want to thank you for standing up in this way. I want to, I don't think this is the right way, but I feel I'm sorry that this particular experience has sort of befallen you individually, and obviously the world that we're all trying to struggle with writ large. But I don't think, just this microcosmic story is just a nightmare, and I'm sorry for you for having to deal with that. I'm glad you are emerging out of it seemingly as strong as ever. And I really do want to echo again this point that you're raising, that we can't let you and others like you be isolated. Because you're right, you will just be turned into a pariah that can easily be picked off when all of us feel it, and most of us, or at least many of us, want to echo, your entire.
I feel like I should say something positive, real quick.
I feel like all of this has been positive, but go ahead, yeah, please. Go ahead.
There's a lot. No, I'll say something positive that I think has come from the courage and the principled, valiant Palestinian resistance that we've been experiencing since October 7th, which is, I feel like, movement in the United States, Black liberatory movement in the United States, for a long time, kind of got into some navel gazing, you know what I'm saying? Or, just got really stuck in the mud with like liberal reformist bullshit, and NGOs and all of this stuff. And we haven't really been able to move very much, but shout out to, all the shit going on in Atlanta with Cop City and all of that. That's like some real powerful shit. Sister Mary Hooks, I dropping bombs over there, bro. I hate you. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like because I'm a woman of a certain age, so like I remember when I was coming up, it was like peace in the Middle East, like free South Africa, like this kind of thing. And, there was like more of an internationalist, Pan-Africanist lens. And I think that like, for a minute there during the BLM moment, we did this thing which was like, I mean, Malcolm warned us about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Where it was like, we're a domestic minority, clamoring against our oppressor for civil rights rather than a global majority. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like there's been a return to that broader internationalist Pan-Africanist lens that took us out of navel gazing and our first world imperial privilege. Don't matter which identity is, because you live here, you got that fucking blue passport. You see what I'm saying? Like, it does matter, but you know what I'm saying. And so, yeah, I feel like now people are talking about the Congo. Now people want to like figure out what the fuck Rwanda's doing. Like, we're trying to figure out the math between the RSF and Sudan and shit, and like that connection to the Saudis. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now we're looking at it in a way that like actually decenters the first world. You know what I'm saying? And like we can actually look back to Africa, look to Latin America and see what's going on. You see what I'm saying? Like, so that I think is great because that puts us in alignment with what I believe our task has always been, which is to dismantle this settler colonial genocidal project called the United States. That's always been the job. Our ancestors, they never, we were never supposed to be this comfortable here. You saying we captives. You said, and like, so like tapping into that kind of history and like me saying this right now is the reason why there's a crackdown on CRT and Black radical tradition, and the reason why they want to regulate how we talk about race, class, and gender, and the reason why Supreme Court did what they did. You see what I'm saying?
Now listen, that's called my boy. You know nothing about that.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
we not supposed to be this comfortable here. Damn. Golly. Yo. Oh man. Oh man. Oh wow.
I'm looking forward to that shit, man.
There are a couple questions that I missed. How would she describe the limitations and potential of those unions in relation to the types of workers' struggle that needs to happen in all the institutions and sectors?
I mean,
woo.
Man, CUNY union sucks, bro. A union is only as good as like the mindset of the rank and file,
Yeah, similarly, I don't mean to cut you off, but they're also asking also the same thing. Did you get any support from any of these unions? Sorry.
The rank and file action, which is a little small radical wing within the CUNY union, were supportive. But the greater union was not. They threw me under the bus. Why? Who makes up the union? It's like a bunch of white liberal ladies, white ladies. You know what I'm saying? Like, the union is only as good as like the mindset of its people. Like, that's why I'm like, salt the unions, yo. Yeah, like I think that the unionist continues to be a battleground also. Like my family, I got people like in my family, like most people working class from New York, like Black and Latino people, we have the public sector jobs, we the bureaucrats. So it's like, hospital administration, school administration, this kind of shit. All these unions, man, my mother can't tell you what the union is except for her benefits. They don't understand. It's been stripped of its like political power. You know what I'm saying? And so like CUNY union, they didn't do shit. Cooper union, we're in conversation. I don't want to say too much on that because it's in the works, but it's been a different experience. But yes, salt the unions, man.
Another honorific, the legendary DJ RBI, talking about sampling that. That's the, yeah, that's crazy. I'm gonna have to recover from that one in a little bit. Can we start a new segment on the cannibalism of the left? Yeah. Maybe. What's that line you've shared, Jab, about dealing with the consequences of your correctness? I don't know what the line was, but it's something along. It's just the thought of whenever whenever I feel like I'm coming into conflict or experiencing my own analysis, it's a problem. That's the point, because we're saying
conditions of unfreedom,
we're not supposed to be comfortable here. And then when I'm made uncomfortable and I'm reminded of that, I'm like, damn, this sucks. But you're right. No. And thank you, are we on the left? BPM just gets better with time after 3 years. Salute. Yeah, thank you very much. Shout out to us for this, and to all of you. This is the whole point of the platform, to do this kind of work and to be here to support people like Professor Rodriguez here and all the rest of us. So yeah, shout out to all of you and to all of us, because we all the ones doing it. This is dope. And again, I love these processes. Ori connects us. You come
Ori's
through.
book is fire, bro. I can't stop. I can't put it down. I'm like so annoying. I keep texting him on the DMs like, yo. But something that actually I read in his book and that I heard him talking to, shout out to Sharice Burden-Stelly too, Dr. CBS. I heard him talking with CBS on a video. He said, you got to seize the narrative. And I'm in my house yelling at the TV like it's Super Bowl. I had my computer screen, so I don't have a TV. But I'm like, seize the narrative like you seize the means of production, bro. Because it's true.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I have not been able to seize the narrative until this very moment right now with you, Jared Ball. You see what I'm saying? Because what's been going on is that New York Post been running amok. They're like, very recently, after it came out that I was fired for my anti-Semitism, quote unquote, alleged, they went and they went and found a video of me from 2021 at a Palestinian protest where my dumb ass was burning an American flag. I mean, no apologies, but I'm pissed is on video and that they could circulate that on their little ecosystem. So like, sorry, but not sorry, but this is the thing, is like they're creating a narrative around me. And so it's important that I can come on here and lay it all out, So
no, but it makes perfect sense, because I always think about my, one of my favorite, for me at least, the people that had experienced it wasn't so favorite. But one of my favorite family stories is when my uncle got snatched up by the FBI in the 60s for union work. They produced a petition his mother, my grandmother, had signed in the 1920s. Talking about we got all this. So like, of course they're going to go and find in today's world video and I saw what the post did with the video of you with the machete. The way they angle it, slow it down, have it repeating, zooming in at a certain point, leaving out all the context. And by the way, you mentioned it that they accuse you of anti-Semitism. In I don't know, I haven't seen all of them maybe, but in the few stories I've read, they don't ever cite any tweet. Yeah, I don't see them citing anything. They keep referencing social media and anti-Semitism, and I'm like, so where's it at? I kept waiting. Right. I kept scrolling down, and all I end up is getting their commercials. Yeah. So I'm like, where's the tweet at? What did she say?
They don't want to do that because then they got to talk about Golden Bridge funding. And they don't want to talk about Golden Bridge funding. Because why is there an Israeli bank giving loans to landlords in New York? I'm telling you, you guys, whoever's listening to this, please go to Golden Bridge Funding, especially if you're New York based. Go to the transactions tab. See the lists of addresses, bro. We're talking in Jamaica, Queens, all up in Brooklyn, here in the Bronx. Like, what happens if we all withhold our rent on an ethical basis? A BDS rent strike. That's why. Because I said that. They're not going to link to that. It's a losing battle what's happening at the universities. Zionism is not a protected category. It's already been litigated per my attorney. So what's essentially happening, in my opinion, is that they're caving to the pressure of the trustees and their Zionist donors on the front end, getting rid of the problem and just going to litigate it with time. They just drop the hot potato for now, but they know they're going to lose later.
Yeah, let's highlight that too. Zionism is not a protected category.
It's not. Zionism is not it's not Judaism. It's not. I mean, we already know the math, you know?
General strike Fridays. Everyone stays home 1 day a week to demand the 4-day work week. I mean, I'm with all of it. I'm with all of whatever. That's dope.
Yeah. I mean, you know, like we have to have a better sort of, it's the comfortable thing, Jared. You know what I'm saying? Like for most people, it's the comfort thing, you know, like, so then like acts of protest, exhibitions of resistance, you know, might land on most folks like a nuisance. Oh, I'm trying to get somewhere. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. But the idea that if we all just stop and stay home on some COVID shit, you know what I'm saying? Like if we just stop, stay home, don't buy shit, it can't move. The thing can't move. What happened after 9/11? George W. Bush got on TV and said, everybody go shopping. They understand that if we say, nah, we're not fucking with this, and we don't move anything, we stop the flow of capital, they can't do shit. So this is why, like, you know, taking the streets, disrupting, these things matter. And that is not calling for violence. I have no problem. I don't know if I should say, I have no problem with violence. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to France Fanon. You know what I'm saying? I understand what that means in an anti-colonial context. But calling for protests to stop the flow of capital is not calling for violence. You see what I'm saying? It is inconveniencing, but we all got to take a L. You know, we like, you know, a lot of us got people that live, you know, in other places. And we know what happens when the price of the gallon of milk goes up or the price of gasoline goes up. Everybody on the street. Because in other places outside of the United States, people know the price of things. They pay attention to those things. Most people here don't know the price of shit. They just pay for it and walk out because they can. They got us. The comfort of consumerism. They got us. And so anything outside of that becomes a nuisance. But at what cost? Our own peril. Now I'm just preaching.
No, you are, and I've been arguing we need a revolutionary church, so keep going. But Quaker Anarchist says David Miller on Electronic Intifada, who won his anti-Semitism case, said Zionism may become a protected class or issue in the UK. Just quickly, shout out to David Miller. I was just literally on a symposium with him Sunday. For the Organization of Propaganda Studies. I believe it's out there somewhere or will be out there somewhere soon. And he talked about his case. And I don't remember him making this particular point, but I'm definitely
trying.
I'm sure they're trying. And
it's that IHRA. I don't remember what it stands for, but you know, that's what they're trying to push, to conflate anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism.
Yeah,
they're running amok in Germany.
Yeah, and in fact that came up on the symposium too. The hierarchical structure in Germany is very strict in terms of academia, and they don't play anything. Surprise, surprise. You know, so yeah. I gotta bring some of these cats around here too. Yeah,
it's got to be a little bit of a mind fuck. I mean, the irony that like your biggest supporter in Europe is the motherfuckers who like try to exterminate and genocide you. Israel. That shit don't ring a bell. It's an upside down world. I don't know.
It really is, and I agree. The comforts of consumerism. That's because we are definitely encouraged to believe that our job here is to make this a more comfortable place, and we're not. That's not what is supposed to be the intent. Yeah, you are a problem. I get it. Because I keep saying I'm a sucker for the halftime speech, and I'm in here. I'm up ready to go. So I can only imagine what a bunch of bright-eyed, you know, young adults would feel like being in your classes and being around your work. So I'm just looking for any other. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, speaking of syllabi,
yeah.
I'll send you the QR. So like a comrade of mine's, a Jewish comrade, and myself put together the Free Palestine syllabus, which is basically gives you all of the information you need to know about what's happening in Palestine, past, present, and future, anti-Zionist Jewish traditions, past, present, and future, the entire thing for anyone who has questions about what's going on in Palestine, what's been happening in Palestine, how to perceive this. You know, if you're a young Jewish student who's questioning, you can't really talk about this shit with your parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's a QR code, and my understanding is that young students on universities everywhere have been pasting this QR code across their universities, and we're here to spread the QR message. So I will also send you that link too for anybody who wants to see the syllabus, share the syllabus. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it all boils down to, like, you know, fugitive pedagogy, radical pedagogy. You know what I'm saying?
Intellectual marinage. That's what's up. Let's go. Let's. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Please send me any and all that you want me to add to the show description, and again, I will, and invite others to you know, everybody to come on back and just as you come back to share this, for those who are here now, to share this with others who you know should be seeing this. You'll get the updated description with the links, and we'll all partake of the syllabus and the petition and just wait for the news of your return.
We shall see. We'll see how it goes. As I said, there's stuff in the works. I have an attorney. Shout out Jonathan Wellis, who is a free speech attorney and who has been handling the cases of a lot of professors on campuses, not just me. So we're going to take Cooper to task on principle, because at the end of the day, I'm an adjunct professor. I can't even pay my rent with that one class. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I started with that. That was I can't help but have that jump out off the page. Yeah.
Deadass. It's not even about the job. It's about the principle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's about like forbidding a precedent. We can't allow it. So we're going to fight for that little bullshit job because we have to.
No, I get it, and I appreciate it. I do see a question here. How many Jewish organizations, that try to distance themselves from the design is within or the overall Zionist movement? I can't speak. I'm not sure I understand either. How many Jewish organizations try to distance themselves from the Zionist movement? Is that maybe what is meant there? I'm not sure. I thought yeah.
Yo, shout out to Molly Crabapple. Go and check out Molly work around the Jewish boom, yo. You gotta check out the Jewish boom research that she got going on. That there's a podcast that she was on. I'll send the link to that too. And also it's on the syllabus. It's on the syllabus. Oh. You know what I'm saying? If you want to learn about the concept of doikait, which is like here-ness, which is like a Yiddish word, it means here-ness. You know what I'm saying? And they were in direct opposition to the Zionists at the time, and there are letters that Molly has found, criticize of the Bund criticizing Zionists and calling them fascists back then and saying that their project was incorrect back then. You see what I'm saying? Problem is like the actual Nazis, the actual anti-Semites killed the majority of them. You know what I'm saying? Because the Bund were socialists and they were about that life and they were gonna fight back. You know what I'm saying? And they were like, we are from here, from Poland or wherever, you know what I'm saying? We from here, we're from here. You know what I'm saying? Not this fantasy of like, some Old Testament fantasy that these, elite moneyed Zionists have. You know what I'm saying? Like, we from here, we're going to defend our right to be here. You know what I'm saying? There's something about that I think relates to like, you build and organize where you are. You see what I'm saying? We build and we organize where we are with who we are here with. Like, I'm an old school New Yorican, you know what I'm saying? Like, but around me, like I live in a neighborhood full of Mexicans, Bangladeshis, Dominicans, Senegalese, like, the Yemenis up the block. Like, build where you are. So like, I see my neighbors, I'm like, salam, tu me kamalaso, some banga, get my bangla on, you know what I'm saying? Because we are like, you organize and you build with who you around. Picture me try to do some birthright shit and go to Puerto Rico and like, I'm going to get land and like, like Puerto Ricans will run me out there. You see what I'm saying? Like, and actually that shit is actually happening, because it's like, I don't understand. It's like, the imperialist, the settler colonial logic gets inside the body. It's a poison,
Do you have socials that you want? That
my shit is private, yo. I've been doxxed way too much. I'm so sorry. I don't share my shit. Like, but yeah, man, I got to protect my space somehow. I mean, I'm already so visible. But I appreciate your interest in wanting to stay connected. Fam.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to stay connected, and I know folks in the chat want to as well, and but definitely understand that, and whenever you are ready to pop up around here again, we'll happily welcome it.
Yeah, I'm sorry about the social media thing. It's just like, it's not good for me.
No, I get it.
I have one social media is an Instagram page, and it's private, and like. You know what I'm saying? For every like one person that is like generally interested, you got like nine entrometidos, like how my grandma would say, you know, just like nosy, looking for something to like, you know, it's just, I don't know. I'm old school a little bit.
No, I'm not mad at that. I think everybody gets that. Yeah, absolutely. But listen, you know, like I said, anytime you want to come back here, you're welcome. Anything we can do, please let us know. And if there's anything in any, you know, final thoughts for today that you want to share, please do. Otherwise, as always, peace, because like Fred Hampton, I know you're willing to fight for it. So definitely peace to you and salute. And thank you very much for all of this.
For tuning in, and thank you, Jared, and you know, free Palestine till it's backwards, man. You know,
there it is. All right, everybody, please stay tuned for the show description update to support Shellyne as much as we can. And again, I'll be reaching out to try to get you back sooner than later. So thank you very much. Salute again. Just all respect in the world. Peace. We'll catch you next time here at I Mix What I Like It throughout the platform. Peace, everybody.
And what do you sacrifice?
Calm, kindness, kinship, love. I've given up all chance at inner peace. I made my mind a sunless space. I share my dreams with ghosts. I wake up every day to an equation I wrote 15 years ago for which there's only one conclusion. I'm damned for what I do. My anger, my ego, my unwillingness to yield, my eagerness to fight, they set me on a path from which there's no escape. I yearn to be a savior against injustice without contemplating the cost, and by the time I look down, there's no longer any ground beneath my feet. What is my sacrifice? I'm condemned to use the tools of my enemy to defeat them. I burn my decency for someone else's future. I burn my life to make a sunrise that I know I'll never see. Now, the ego that started this fight will never have a mirror or an audience or the light of gratitude. So what do I sacrifice? Everything.